you have no idea what anyone else is going through, and they have no idea what you're going through.
The more negativity that you feel, or that you put out to the world, I should say, the worse you feel.
If that's what you're looking for, that is what you'll take from it.
It's just a season. Let's go out there, do the best I can with what I've got.
It's the acknowledgement of what's happening and then choosing how you show up as an attitude in that moment. You're listening to the Apology Void podcast.
How are you today?
Are you still trying to figure out what the topic is today, Sal?
No.
Okay, good.
But I knew you would think that if I said that. So that's why I did it.
I thought you were asking me how are you as like a stall tactic.
No, Katie's panicking because we saw this last week, how we said, me on the couch, I'm wanting to figure out the topic. She's like, have you got the topic? I'm like, yes. And I stole. So on that note, well, you're good. Number one.
I'm good. I'm fine. I'm a little tired today. Not gonna lie. I slept like poop. I don't know what word I was trying to say, but I slept like poopy. And so I am just a little extra exhausted today, but we are here. How are you, Sal?
I'm great. And we're showing up. Great segue into the topic, which I'll introduce.
Yes.
Great segue. So today we're talking about managing our responses and managing our emotions and things. And when you have a lot on your plate, we can't control our circumstances. We can't control things in our life, but we can control our own responses and how we treat other people in times of chaos, in times of sleep deprivation, in times of frustration. So I'm actually really excited about this topic. In times.
Me too. Me too. We're going to talk about all the times and how we manage to continue showing up. And like, as you said, with kindness, I think that's the biggest thing that I have been trying to really put out there recently is just no matter how you're feeling, the more you can show up with kindness and grace and compassion or empathy, the better everyone is. No matter your circumstance, no matter somebody else's circumstance, you have no idea what anyone else is going through, and they have no idea what you're going through. So if we could all just show each other a little more like love, that would be awesome.
That would be great. And also it impacts yourself, because the more negativity that you feel, the more woe me that you feel, or that you put out to the world, I should say, the worse you feel. So yes, it impacts others greatly, I might add, but it impacts you greatly as well. So if we switch to that love.
Yeah, I saw some science about this recently where it's like people who show up with more love and positivity in their life tend to live longer because you're actually just like patterning your brain in certain ways. You're building a structure with which you respond to everything. So it's a practice. And people who are more negative tend to live shorter lives. There was a thing about it. I can't remember the exact wording. Y'all can go look it up, or maybe I'll post something about it. But the general idea was that the more positive we try to live our lives, the longer we tend to live. So, which in a lot of ways makes sense.
I'm not surprised by that. I haven't read any research, but I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
Negativity does really impact your health. It's like stress. I don't think it's a secret that stress impacts our life and does decrease our physical health and our mental health dramatically. So stress is a negative emotion or a negative feeling, right? So they're not all the same, but they can be bundled to a certain degree. So whether it's stress or frustration or anger or resentment, or we can be sad, and all of those things, I guess, are we're not saying you're not allowed to feel those things ever. Like, I'm just saying when we operate at a higher level and when we try to focus on the opposite emotion, so rather than hate, feel love, rather than, anger, feel happiness, whatever, the opposite of that negative, then that's where we see the improvement. Anyway,
Yeah, no,
makes
I
sense.
like completely and totally makes sense. And there's this thought that if you're looking for negativity, you're going to find negativity. And the more negativity you find, the more you're going to look for negativity. And so you're just reinforcing all of these like negative feedback loops because you're continuing to look for that. Like if you look for something to be wrong, something's going to be wrong perpetually. If you read into a conversation with someone and think that like everything they're saying is a personal affront to you or something they're attacking you about, that's what's going to happen. That like that is
Mm.
how you are going to perceive things. If that's what you're looking for, that is what you'll take from it. And so the more we can either approach things looking for like the positive or giving people the benefit of the doubt, or even as I've been doing recently, like approaching things with this sense of like completely neutrality, approaching things from a completely like, I have no response until something happens. Like I'm not going to go into this looking for the positive or the negative in it. I'm just going to approach it neutrally and see where it goes. So
Mm.
that's been a really big energy saver for me personally as I'm like dealing with 9 million things with 5 billion businesses. But um
But actually,
but actually it's like I might own too
maybe,
many
look,
businesses.
5 billion maybe an exaggeration, but
It's a little
it's a
bit, but
lot. So
it's a
let's
few.
rewind. I just want to rewind. So I feel like look,
Please
Kirst, I'll probably
do.
take it back. Take it back. Okay, so how we came up with this, there's a lot of things in our life, a lot of things happening. So for us, it may not be, well, okay, for you, yes. I was going to say for us, it may not be sinister, air quoting, for those who aren't watching. We have a lot on our plate. Chaos is happening. Need to tick things off. Feel like we could work from sunrise to sundown and never get everything done. Yes. But there's also things that are more, say, like for your case, health related. You things in your life that you also can't control, like chronic illness, things like that. So let's rewind to those. So there are circumstances in our life which are out of our control, right?
Yeah.
So thinking about those like, well, I can't help that I've got this, or I can't help that I've got so much on my plate. That then becomes the response. So where
Yeah.
where we're saying the I guess the line is, or the cut bit is the change between what we have going on to how we respond to it. So you don't have a choice whether you have a chronic illness. You can't do anything about it. You can't change it. You can't you can improve it. You can't fix it. You can't cure it. Da 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 da. All of those things, right? But you could either choose to wallow in self-pity, or you can choose to go, no, I need to learn how to manage it. I need to do things for my body. I might need to change how my day looks. I might need to change my medication. I might need to vent to the right people sometimes. And that's
Mhm.
also okay. Like, if we get upset about our circumstance, that's also fine. It's just about not remaining in that pity party. I'll call it a pity party, which we're allowed to have. Sounds so bad. We're allowed to have that. But it's like going, okay, now I'm choosing to go, right, what can I do proactively to help myself and to change my mindset? Because you can't live in that state.
Yeah. I think there's like a level of acceptance that comes with it. Like you mentioned the chronic illness piece of it. I could live in a state of being angry at the entire world that I am different, that my body is different. I could live in a state of like complete and total sadness that I can't do the things I could do 2 years ago. I could live in a place of like complete and total utter defeat and just wallow in my bed. I could do that. But that doesn't serve me. It certainly doesn't help me feel better. And like, it doesn't serve anyone around me. So how I try to personally show up, especially on days where I'm struggling, like this morning, is choosing a different attitude. So part of my chronic illness stuff is it impacts my sleep in a really, really big way. And last night, as I said, I slept like garbage. And so I woke up just extra exhausted in extra amounts of pain. And so what I did first thing this morning is I sat down, I journaled, and I said in my journal, today will be a good day. I am choosing to live in a happy mindset and I will still be productive. Now, I am also giving myself the grace that I may not be able to do all of the things that I thought I was going to do. But that's why I also set out 3 very specific things last night that I wanted to accomplish today. And I kept a running list today in my head and on paper of the things that I did throughout my day. And I made sure to keep all of my habits in check that I know support me, like taking 2 short walks, keeping my water with me at all times, checking in, having conversations with people, like not completely and totally isolating or shutting down because I was tired. So like that is an uncontrollable circumstance. I can't do anything about it, but I can pick how I choose to show up in my day and simply say, I'm still going to have a good day today. That's it. So, yeah.
And it does impact the people around you. And I'm speaking right now, I'm speaking from our personal experience, right? So
Yeah.
I can tell you, no matter what, and I'm speaking to our listeners now, Katie has going on in her life, you will reach out to me and check in how I'm going because you know how much I also have going. Like, so we're bouncing off each other. I'm like, hope your sleep's good. You're like, how's your day? How's everything going? Like, you're checking in, right? That's a choice. You're remembering that that we both have, like, in our friendship, we each have things going on. Then one's not worse than the other. One's, well, arguably sometimes I'm sure your chronic illness is worse than my busy day, just saying. But it's not, we're not comparing here. We're not being like, oh, but I'm just really tired. I just don't have time. Like, I'm just, we're not doing that, right? Where you're checking in and you do that for me. Like, no matter if you're having a crap day, yesterday is what I'm talking about. Like yesterday we were texting, remember? And I was like, how are you? And you were like, yep.
Yes.
Yes, ... I was like, I can't remember the exact response, but you were still working on your couch. Like, you were still, it was like 8:30 or something, wasn't it? Or 9 o'clock close by the time we'd finished. You were still working away. You sent me this photo. I'm like, literally in the trenches because I had plumbers. Anyway, and we're like, just checking in and having a laugh about it.
Yeah, you were literally in the trenches, like physically, literally digging a trench for plumbing. And I was like, girl, what's going on? But I think that's like, it's part of it. And one of the cool things about how you responded was, well, I kind of expected this, or like, I'm going to still show up and do my things, but here's what's going on. It's the acknowledgement of what's happening and then choosing how you show up as an attitude in that moment, because you could have been like, this is shit, awful, everything is terrible, but you didn't. And that was pretty epic. So like, cheers.
So yes, that long side note story was to say, when you switch your mindset, it helps those around you because you're more inclined to be engaging with them and remember things and be positive towards them, which rubs off. People don't like to be around negative people.
Yeah.
Actually, some people do. I'll take that back. Yeah. Some people do because they feed off it. I love it. But I don't.
So what I was going to say is, I was actually thinking about this while I was out running errands today. Like, who are some of the positive people in my life who typically look for the good in what's happening? Because we've talked about this previously, but we are made up of like the 5 closest people to us. And I was thinking about how I so gravitate toward our conversations because they are so upbeat and positive and just like not toxic positivity because gross, ew.
Yuck.
We're going to acknowledge what's happening, but also come at it with this everything is solvable, everything is figure outable, and we're gonna do it. Like it's just something I really appreciate about this dynamic and one of the reasons why like you're one of my people. So surround yourself with good
Ditto.
people, dang it.
Dang it. I think that's it, right? So it's very evident in our conversations. And I'm saying this for our listeners to know that you can get to this place and change your response, because there
Mhm.
have been times where we've been chatting and we've both just been like, dude, like, but we always laugh. I find that no matter what, like shit could be hitting the fan, literally,
Literally.
but we're laughing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, like, what can you do about it? Do you know what I mean? And most of the time, okay, so there's this, I'm going to butcher this quote, but I'll go roundabout way. There's this podcast I listened to a long time ago, and she was talking about like circumstances and changing them and being in and out of like, it was a business podcast and in and out of business activity and yada yada. Anyway, so she's saying if you have a circumstance that you can change but you don't, you're just lazy. And I was like, boom. Like, yes. And that goes for our mind as well. If you're in a circumstance where you can choose to I'll finish my train of thought. Choose to change and you don't, you're not lazy, you're just not putting in the work. So there's a difference between physical and obviously mental as well. That's two completely different things. But my preface was going to be, before I decided not to interrupt myself, was, and we've spoken about this before, sometimes people need additional help. It's not always that easy, i.e. medication, i.e. therapy, etc. Acknowledged. I think we've made it abundantly clear by now that we're not anti those things, and we're not just saying you can fix everything by going, I'm great now. No. I think we've established that.
It takes practice and it takes using all of our aids, all of the things that support us. Like, we need the supports to make things happen. And some people, I'm raising my hand here, need more supports than others. Like, I take meds that help my mental health. And whoo, do they make a world of difference. The first time, I remember the first time I thought to myself, wow, I haven't had a panic attack in a week. That's weird. And that's new. And so I needed actual pharmacological help to make that improvement because there is
Mm.
a chemical imbalance that I need support with, and that's okay. But like on top of that, we all have things that we can work on improving, and acknowledging those things and then seeking out the right supports is so important. Like, you cannot fix it all, do it all, be it all by yourself. You literally can't. So I have done years of therapy, and I am in the process of trying to find a new therapist now, because even though I've done those years of therapy, even though I've had the medications, even though I supervise people and I talk about this stuff all of the time, like, I still have things that I'm working on every single day. So, like, use your supports, whether they're other people or pills.
Actually, though. And if you are somebody that you feel like you know that you start to operate in that negative mindset and that negative space, and you feel those feelings of panic or anxiety, etc., and you're trying to change it, but you can't, that might be an indication that you need external help, right? So it's not, if you're just doing nothing and going, oh, no, I can't fix it on my own, you still might need it. But without trying, you're not going to know if you might really. Do you know what I mean? Is that, I'm not
Yep.
articulating today. She not articulating.
Mm, mm, mm,
I was
mm.
actually having, this is a complete side note, gotta say. But I was having a conversation with my sister the other day. I was at her house. And then we were like, we must have been laying down or something. Anyway. And then she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, and I just was, she was like, "No, how did, like, I have no context. How did you get here?" And I'd actually just like thought, just had this whole train of thought. And I'm like all over the place in my brain about different topics. And it came out of my mouth. And I feel like that happens on the podcast sometimes. I'll be like talking and then I'm like, I'll be listening back to episodes like, Sally, what are you talking about? But I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, that didn't come across right because you had half a conversation prior to that yourself.
Sometimes I forget what I say out loud versus what I say in my head, and I get lost. And like, there have been a whole probably like 2 minutes of what would have been out loud conversation in 2 seconds in my brain. And then I jump to the end part and say the end part out loud. And other people in my life are like, I think I missed like half a conversation. What just happened? It's fine.
So it's not just me. I don't think it's also, I'm not having a
Mm-mm.
conversation in my head because, as you know, I can't hear myself. But it's kind of like,
Oh,
it's kind of like I just have so many ideas all at once. That's more the, and I don't know which one to say first. Anyway, complete side note.
that's amazing. That's
That
so amazing.
might require medication. Just saying.
You know, I cannot make a diagnosis nor recommend medication. However, if that is something you choose to pursue, you have my full support. Woo!
Oh,
Oh boy.
woo!
So
Yes.
important to note, and maybe we should have said this at the beginning, is just both of us have a lot of moving parts and pieces happening in our lives right now. So the scattered might come out just a little bit extra. Um, but again,
True.
like
Yeah.
being back on topic, even though we have so many different parts and pieces occurring, it would be really easy. It would be so easy, I think, for both of us to like go inward and collapse and just be like, nope, I'm going to rot in my bed all day and be happy there. But instead, it's like continuing to show up and do the things and continue. I think, what did I say today? I'm trying to just continue forward progress and continue moving forward. That's really it, rather than stagnate or like allow all of the different parts and pieces to collapse in on me. I'm just trying to continue making progress forward. And I know that's not always going to look perfect. And I am very aware that this season for me is going to just be a little more exhausting. And that's okay. I think acknowledging that fact and just being aware of it up front so that I can better employ all of my supports is really crucial to showing up in a positive way every single day. So,
100%. It's like you just think to yourself, okay, you have the, whatever it might be, you have a lot on in our circumstance, or you have to deal with something today or tomorrow or the next day or forever. Okay,
mhm.
get up, get it done, acknowledge that you may feel exhausted today. What can I do about that? Rather than act in response. So if you're just, today's going to be a great day, I'm just going to have a nice chill day, when you know full well that you're not going to. And then you have a lot on and you're busy, like, oh, I'm just so busy. It's just annoying. Like, I can just never have a relaxing day. That's the two difference, right? Okay, I'm just going to get up. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to be exhausted. It's fine. And other people, done.
Yeah.
Rather than, oh, woe me, poor me, I had a really long day and I have a lot on my plate.
That's such a
Yeah.
reactive mindset. That's so reactive. And it's something I've been diving into, like with other people in my life is the reactive versus the proactive. And if we can just assess what's actually happening and like get started, just move. Just start. Just start. Then I feel like if we can approach that, like you said, with this realistic attitude, then we're being far more proactive than getting to the end of the day and be like, oh, I can't ever have any downtime. Oh.
Actually, though.
Yeah.
So not operating in the reactive, controlling how you respond, treating other people with kindness, love, respect, treating yourself with kindness, love, and respect, catching yourself if you start to slip into that negative. We didn't speak about this, but victim mentality, like I'm the victim of my circumstances. I'm the victim of what's going on in the world. Like, let's just try to find the positive in anything. I'm thinking of an example right now. I'm going to say it before we wrap up. Like fuel prices right now, right? Great example. They're flying like crazy, right? And I heard someone posted an Instagram reel and I was pissing myself. She was like, at the bowels are filling up. And she's like, to be honest, I don't give a shit about fuel prices. What am I going to do? Walk? It's like, completely different to this. It's like a frenzy here, right? The fuel. I'm like, I have to drive my car. Like, I need to get to work. What am I going to do about it? Like, I'm not going to not buy it. So it just is what it is. I can't change it. I can't change the fuel prices. Like, that's a circumstance. I can't change how, I don't even know how importing and exporting, well, I know a little bit, but like, I can't change that. I've got my input has no impact on that at all. But I can change my response to the pricing. I can be like, oh, shit, an extra $1 per litre as opposed to last month. That's excessive. That just takes something else off another bit of budget. But if I just wallow on it day after day, I'll never get anything done. I'll be too busy talking about the bloody fuel prices all week. Anyway, that's my example, but I was summarising up as I got sidetracked. I don't know how far I got.
I don't know how far I got is my favorite my favorite summation of that. I don't know what I just said. No, like that was really good. And it's a really good mindset to have, like, what am I going to do about it? And if the answer isn't like I can actually control this thing, like what can you control? And just looking at that piece of it, even what can I control here? And there are some examples that I like there are some unfortunate situations that people end up in where they are the victim. We are not talking about those things. We are not specifically talking about those things. No. Please note that is not ever what we are talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Thanks. Wonderful. But I really think it's funny that you bring up gas prices and the what am I going to do? Walk? I'm not. Like, I can't walk. I can't walk to Texas.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. It's 17 hours by car. Like, what am I going to do? Walk it?
No.
So it's one of those things where, like, complaining about it right now isn't going to do me anything but make me and everyone around me miserable. And so I'm choosing to do what I can. And same with the rest of it. I'm acknowledging to you and to everyone else, I'm a little exhausted today, so I might be a little extra squirrely, but I'm still going to show up, and I'm not just going to be like, oh my God, I am so tired today. I'm tired every day, man.
Ditto. And it's fine. We just roll with it. We go with it. We show up with positivity. So show up with kindness, show up with positivity. We love you. We love positive people. Go do your thing.
Go be awesome. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. And leave us a beautiful comment on one of our posts. Follow us on Apology Void.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's a disclaimer.